Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. Welcome to my channel Learn Math with Sayyid Ali. So today we will be doing some more practice for factoring quadratics. And we know that what quadratic equation is. The standard form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. This is standard form of quadratic. And we are learning today factoring the quadratics. Factoring means we are multiplying with something, right? So we factor it, right? So how to factor it? There are certain rules. We take some examples here. So one of the example is 2m square minus is equals to minus 7m minus 6. Is it in the standard form? No, it's not in the standard form. So we have to shuffle it a little bit. So we have to transfer this 7m and minus 6 to the other side of the equation and make this equation to look like my standard form, right? Which is ax square plus bx plus c. So I have to shuffle it. So I will bring this to the other side of the equation. It will become plus, because whenever you shift something from one side of the equation to the other side of the equation, it changes its sign. So this is 7m and this will be plus 6. So both are now plus. Now is equals to 0. Now is according to my standard form, right? Ax square plus bx plus c, right? So now I have to factor it. Factor means we have to break this middle term into two factors which upon addition or subtraction give me the same 7m. That means I am not changing the equation. I am not changing anything because I need just two numbers, which gives me back 7. And what is the rule? Rule is that we have to multiply the coefficient of m square with the constant and break that number. So 16, 2 times 6 is 12. I have to break 12 into two factors, which gives me upon addition or subtraction 7, so that I can break it, right? So I will say 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 1 is 1. And I can make this factor, which is workable, that is 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12, but what upon addition? Plus 4 and plus 3 give me 7. So I did my job. What I have to do, I have to look for this multiplication and break that into two factors, which upon addition or subtraction give me the middle term. So I break that middle term into two factors. This is called factoring the quadratic. So now I will rewrite it. 2m square plus 4m plus 3m plus 6 is equals to 0. So I rewrite the quadratic. Now I have 4 terms instead of 3 because I break 7 into 2 terms. And now I will pair it up and take some common. So what is common between 2 and 4 is 2. What is common between m square and m is m. What is left behind between these two terms? So 2 is out, nothing. M power 2, m power 1 is out, so m is left. Plus m is out, 4 is left. So here what is common between these two is 3. So 3 is out, so 2 was out, sorry. So 2 was out, so it is 2, right? 2 to the 4. So 2 from this 4, 2 was out, so 2 is left, right? When you multiply, you will get the same number, right? So when 3 is out, m is left. When 3 is out from here, 2 is left. And you have to have these two brackets always identical, always same. When you do this step, be careful that you have to have these two brackets same. If you have different, then that means you make some mistake somewhere, so you have to recheck it or redo it. So when these are same, we write them once and then we write the second bracket, which was the common, 2m plus 3. So this is my factors of this quadratic equation. So this is called factored form. This is factor form. If we multiply these two brackets, we will get back the quadratic equation, right? So multiplying this to get back the equation is called expanding. So we learned two terms. if question says expand or expanding, so that means we have to multiply these two brackets with each other and we'll get the standard form. We can multiply here. So m times 2m plus 3 and plus 2 times 2m plus 3. So what we multiply? We multiply the first term with the whole bracket, this whole bracket, and then plus 2 whole bracket, and then we expand it further. So we say 2m square plus 3m plus 2 to the 4, 4m plus 2 3 is a 6 is equals to 0. And then we add these because they are similar, they are like terms added together or subtracted together, whatever the sign is. So I got here 7m plus 6 is equals to 0. And you can see that we have the same quadratic equation back when we expand it. So this is the same equation as we have here, right? So that means these are the two terms, which is one is called factoring, right, and other is called expanding. So that is vice versa. So I can write it like this as well. So if I write m plus 2 and 2m plus 3, right, and this is equals to 2m square plus 7m plus 6, right? So this is, if I am going this way, I am expanding, right? What I am doing? I am expanding. And I show you how to expand, right? I am expanding. But if I am doing this way, I am factoring. So these are the two terms simultaneously used in our quadratics: expanding and factoring. And factoring means we have to break the middle term in two parts, and the procedure is that we have to pick a number which we have to break, and that number is the coefficient of m square is multiplied with the constant, and that number has to be divided into two parts, so that upon addition or subtraction it gives me the middle term. Hope you understand what we mean by factoring and expanding. We take another example quickly. Let's say this time we have m square is equals to 300 minus 2 or 20m, let's say. So this is the equation. Is it in the standard form? No, we have to do something to make it a standard form to look like as ax square plus bx plus c. So we shift it to the other side of the equation. 20m will become plus 20m and 300 will become minus 300 equals to 0. Now it looks like our standard form, right? So now we break, right? What is the procedure? Take the coefficient of square terms, which is 1, and multiply it with the constant, which gives me 300. Now I have to break 300 into two factors, so that upon addition or subtraction, it gives me 20. So I start my, or it is oral, it's easy because if I want to do it by this factoring method, I can, but I can see that 300 can be divided as 30 times 10. 30 times 10 will give me upon subtraction 20. 30 minus 10 is 20. So I don't need to go into the details to factor it because it was a kind of oral thing. 30 times 10 is 300 and 30 minus 10 is 20. So I will rewrite the equation now. M square plus 30m minus 10m minus 300 equals to 0. So this is what I did. I break the middle term into two parts, which is, so we did not change the equation, and then we make the pair, right? And we take the common from the one pair and take the common from the second pair, and the two brackets should be same. So if m is out, so m plus 30 is left, minus 10 is out, m plus 30 is left in the bracket. Two brackets should be same. These two brackets should be same, must be same. And then we have to write them, rewrite them once, not two times, only one time. And then the second bracket is what we take common. So m minus 10. So now we have two brackets, right? This is called factored form. So if the question is given that this way, to factored form, or if the question is given this way, to expand it, we have to multiply it like this. Now we go further into this detail that if we want to calculate the value of m from this factored form, value of m, that is called roots of the quadratic. Roots of quadratic equation. We have been doing this, but we are practicing it in more detail. So roots of the, so I am going to put each and every bracket 2 equals to 0 to give me two values of m plus 30 equals to 0 and m minus 10 equals to 0. So what are the two roots of this quadratic equation? So I have m is equals to minus 30 and m is equals to 10. These are my two roots, right? And two roots, these are also called like x-intercepts or two zeros, or we have done it before. But today we are only practicing the factoring, the quadratics, and the other form, right? What is the other form? Expanding. So if you want to expand it, this is your homework assignment, that you have to expand it m plus 30 times m minus 10 and see that did you get back this equation, which is the standard quadratic equation or form. So remember, what is the standard format of a quadratic equation? Ax squared plus bx plus c, right? So I hope you like it, and you have to attempt few more questions maybe for exercise, because in textbook you have plenty of questions like this. So sometimes a student get confused with some of the questions which I am showing it now, making some space on the board. So sometimes question is written only like this, 16b square minus 1. So this is a quadratic which has no middle term, right? So it has got the ax square sort of thing and then the constant. But here we can say that, okay, we can break it as difference of two whole squares, right? 4b square minus 1 whole square. So we can break it as 4 minus 1 and 4 plus 1, 4b plus 1, right? And both equals to 0. So what we are doing? We are factoring it. We factor it. So the two factors are 4b minus 1 and 4b plus 1. If somebody says that, okay, find the roots of this quadratic, then you have to equate both bracket equals to 0, individually equals to 0, and get the value of b. So here 4b is equals to 1 and b is equals to 1 by 4. And here 4b is equals to minus 1, so b is equals to minus 1 by 4. So you have to see the question, what question is saying. If question is saying find out the two roots, then you have to do until here. If question is saying only factor it, so you can factor it, you have to stop it here, right? So when you make practice, it is easy to attempt these kind of questions. So another question is sometimes student get confused is y square is equals to 7y, and question is simple, factor it or solve it, right? So what we have to do, we have to bring this 7y to the other side of the equation, is equals to 0, right? So this is a form of quadratic, but not the complete. We have x square, we have the middle term, but we have no constant. So nothing to worry. We can take common y as a common, and we can say y minus 7 is equals to 0. So either y is equals to 0 and I can say y is equals to 7, right? So these are my two roots. If I want to find out roots, I will say 0 and 7. And if I want to find out the factors, it is y times y minus 7 are the two factors for this quadratic. We go and quickly take a look for another example. So question may be like this, 12m square is equals to 10 minus 37m, right? So I have to reshuffle it, or I have to make this form, which is ax square plus bx. So 12m square plus 37m minus 10 equals to 0, and the procedure is that multiply this coefficient with the constant, so it brings you 120, and you have to break 120 into two factors to give you 37 upon addition or subtraction, right? Upon addition or subtraction. So again, it's like a common oral that 120 can be 40 times 3 is 120, right? And what is 40 minus 3? 40 minus 3 is 37. So I have my two factors, right? So I will write it 12m square plus 40m minus 3m minus 10 equals to 0. So I break the middle term into two factors, and then I will make the pair, and then I take common between these two pairs. So here I have 4m is common. When 4 is out of 12, 3 is left. 4 3 is a 12. When m is square, m is out, m is left. Plus 4 is out from 40, 10 is left, right? And here minus 1 is out, and 3m plus 10 is inside. 3m plus 10 is inside. Why plus? Because minus is taken out. So whenever minus is taken out as a common, inside sign will change. Now you can see that these two brackets are same, so we have to write them once, 3m plus 10, and the second bracket is 4m minus 1. So this is my factored form. If I want to find out the roots of this quadratic, then I have to proceed. Find out the root is the other part, right? Find out the roots of this quadratic. Roots of this quadratic equation, right? Quadratic equation. So we learned that root means we have to go and get the value of m in two factors. So 3m plus 10 equals to 0, and 4m minus 1 equals to 0. So 3m is equals to minus 10, 4m is equals to 1. So m is equals to minus 10 by 3, and m is equals to 1 by 4 are the two roots. So you have to look for the question, what question is saying, and then you can make practice that what do you mean by the factors, what do we mean by the expanding. So this is your homework, that you can expand these two brackets to get the quadratic equation back, right? So that part is called expanding. If two brackets are given, then that means you have the factored form of the quadratic equation, and then you have to expand them to get the standard form of the quadratic equation. Hope you like the video. Subscribe my channel, press the bell icon button. Thank you for watching.